morning, Dubai. Welcome back to Lovin Dubai show, where we go through all our trending stories. Our top story today, Emirates will be aiming to be back to 100% capacity by 2023.
Exciting, and Dubai schools would enjoy a 9-day Eid break.
Even more exciting.
Right.
Also, SRK has just been granted a Dubai Happiness Card. But what is the Dubai Happiness Card?
And NFT mansions being sold in Dubai. What?
And do stay tuned, because later in the show we're going to be joined by the most sought after hairstylist in Dubai. We have Dina Aloid. She's waiting outside. She's going to be coming in. But before we get into all of that, speaking of hair, Simran is on our holidays and we're joined by Shahir. Thank you so much for coming in. We are so excited to have you.
I got you. I guess I'm the next best thing after Simran.
You know what? Right before the show, there was a couple of things that you said, and I was like, has Simran even left?
And I asked, is that really the best thing you could be saying to me?
It wasn't a bad thing.
It's not, but sure, I'll take it.
So we wear like earpieces, and like Simran has this thing that they never fit her. It doesn't matter like what size, you know. and then before the show, Shahir was like, "Oh, I need to change it."
It keeps coming off.
I can hear it. It keeps coming off, and I'm like, "Oh, Simran's still here."
I've changed it 3 times now, but sure, I'll take it. Simran has a beautiful personality, so sure, whatever. So she's on holiday at the moment, and most of her gifts were bought for her little pup, which
Oh my god!
I guess I'm happy for her. So she sent me the picture of it, and it's literally like not just a hamper, but more. She got toys, she got snacks, she got treats, and I just sat there and thought, I don't feel the same way about my cat.
Well, we spoke about this because she literally brings the whole house with her on holidays, and I saw on her Instagram stories as well. Like she literally brought the whole house for her dogs. It's so cute.
That's
it's
an
so
entire
thoughtful.
suitcase of like just gifts for people.
Yeah. That's what nice. Were you here when we had this discussion?
Yeah, and I said I wouldn't do it, but for my little nephew, he deserves gifts. He's only, I guess, 3 months old
Your
now.
cat doesn't, Lady Macbeth.
Lady Macbeth is stressing me out. It's not working at the moment. So
How long have you had?
a month, I think.
Oh, you're still in the early stages of pet
And she's
ownership.
super needy. I'm not sure how to like get over it. I guess it's, I don't know. I guess she's just so young. She's only like 2 months old at this point. But I can't stand her. Guys, I need help. If anyone has a little kitten.
You can't stand her?
I mean, I can. She's super cute. But like, she sleeps on the pillow next to me at night, which I don't know if that's the most hygienic approach to like sleeping with your cat. But whatever, I'll take it. That's the only time she's ever cute. When she's asleep, when she's not moving.
Look, you've adopted a pet for life. It takes some adjustment period. Goose was an absolute pain in my face for 2 years, and she's just passing the 2-year mark, and now she's less of a pain in my face.
I am not that patient.
Goose, I love you. You have to be that patient. You have to put in the hours. Also, did you like the intro? I said, speaking of hair, we have Shahir on the phone on the show.
Oh my God.
Let's jump into our top stories. Amazing. Emirates eyes 100% capacity by 2023. Did we ever think this day would come? It is literally phenomenal to think that 2 years ago we could not fly, we would not fly, and now yesterday, Emirates told a media briefing that it's in good shape as demand for travel rises, and they're looking at getting back to 100% capacity by 2023. Of course, they're getting back into Eid holidays. That's also going to help, and then jumping into summer, and then by November of next year, potentially, that's what they're looking back at.
I thought it was at the end of this year.
2023.
Well, we're closer now than ever.
So close. It was Emirates Chief Operating Officer Adnan Kazim who said it, and yeah, it's just fantastic news.
So just yesterday, the airline announced that it would add 23 more flights and fleets across the GCC, and it's doing a thing. And basically, this will include different countries, including Kuwait, Qatar, a bunch of countries on the GCC. Super exciting. What do you think?
Well, I think the first thing we're looking at is Eid and how busy the travel period is going to be. Usually we get information from Emirates, from DXB, that it's going to be like the busiest travel period, and you can expect that now. They also said like some of the places that they're upping the number of flights and seats over the next period. Are you traveling, by the way?
I don't think so. I want to go home, but I'm just not ready. I got these piercings that
You just came back.
Yeah, exactly. There's that, and also the piercings that I got that my parents do not know about. So
What did you get?
I got 3 piercings. Are you only just noticing?
I'm not an observant, like, beauty facial person.
Oh,
I'm more about what's on the inside.
Good one. You got me there. But like,
Didn't you just go home though?
yeah, and I got the piercings like 3 weeks ago. So like, I'm not ready for the backlash, and I need my parents' support at the moment. So I just won't risk it.
But I think it leads into our next story because it's like, well, I might be traveling, but I really don't know how many days I'm going to have.
Exactly. But school kids, on the other hand,
They know.
they have a 9-day break, so it's the entire week, including the weekends too. So following the announcement that the public sector will enjoy a 9-day holiday, it's just been announced by the KHDA that Dubai schools will also have a 9-day break for Eid.
The KHDA is literally like the sassiest Twitter account, and they're so cute. They had that, you know, that Will Ferrell gif, like.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, so cool. They have a personality on Twitter. I love that.
Oh, they're so amazing. Like when it's raining, like they'll always make jokes about like sassy parents as well. But this was literally the official announcement that came yesterday was a Will Ferrell dancing gif, along with the tweet that said, "Bad news for those of you who were hoping for a short Eid break holiday. It's now going to be a whole week. So schools will be closed starting Monday, May 2, and will open again on Monday, May 9th. Eid Mubarak, lovely people."
And we're still yet to receive any updates on the private sector as to what's going on. So fingers crossed we hear by this weekend.
It's so tricky because the announcement has already been made that our Eid break is going to be on the second or third day. So it's going to be on, we'll either have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or Thursday, Friday. But the same announcement was made for the government sector, but then it was deleted and changed. So that's why everyone's like,
I'm excited. I'm excited. I feel like we all deserve it. Eid's the most beautiful time of the year. You want to see family, you want to see friends, you want to cherish every moment. So it seems realistic to have a 9-day break.
But actually, the thing about the schools is they have a half day on Friday anyway, so they're getting a 9.5 day. Now, the only concern I have really is for parents, and I actually sent a message to our colleague Michael, who has 2 kids of school-going age, and I said, "What are your thoughts?" So let's hear what he said. Okay, this can't be heard. He's basically said it's not ideal as we are working, but we're just going to have to make do until we get an announcement, as both he and his wife are working in the private sector.
But can school buses assist and like driving services? I know that gets costly. There should be like some form of like assistance for people in the private sector, don't you think?
But what would the school buses do?
Pick the kids up. Oh, sorry, that doesn't make sense. I'm thinking backwards.
What do you mean?
No, as in, if the parents are working, I take that back. That makes 0 sense. Never mind.
The kids, the buses.
The kids are off. The kids are off. Why would they need school buses? Okay, I see where the inconvenience lies now.
So we'll see. We did actually put a question out on Instagram this morning asking, what are you getting? Our amazing public. And I think most people so far have said they are getting they're not sure. They're not getting a 9-day break though.
Well, there's also like places where kids can go.
67% have said no.
Teardrop.
We're in that 67%. We got you.
Unfortunately. But also, there's we spoke about it on the show before, like all these places that kids can go for the majority of like a school day. So parents can go to work, they drop them off, and they just have a good time. Food is provided, they have like fun games and activities.
It's the money that would cost.
I know.
It's a tricky one.
It's a double-edged sword.
Anyway, I think this year there is confusion surrounding it. As of now, the majority of the private sector has either a 3 or 4 day break, depending on the moon sighting, which is expected to be on Saturday. As soon as we have that information, we'll bring it to you. Let's jump into our next story. Shah Rukh Khan was granted a Dubai happiness card. Amazing. But what actually is a Dubai happiness card? Bollywood star Shah Rukh Khan, he got honoured in Dubai by Dubai Police. Now, this is not to be confused with a golden visa, which provides exclusive residency status to a chosen few. The happiness card is an initiative by the GDRFA, who tweeted the honour this week.
They said Dubai welcomes Bollywood star Shah Rukh Khan and grant him the happiness card with the aim of achieving happiness for them through various benefits, discounts, and offers. So according to the tweet, the happiness card offers visitors swell of benefits, discounts, and offers, which include
which include, well, this is the thing, because it's not just a superstar status card.
Yeah.
This is actually available to people when they travel into the UAE. It was launched in 2020 as part of the UAE's Dubai's objective to provide tourists with a memorable experience, and it's free, and it's actually distributed to tourists at DXB. So watch out for it. It's kind of what this message is, because I basically think that we can all actually potentially get it. The tourists can get this happiness card. And it's discounts offers across the city, so it's like a whole range.
It's named so perfectly. It does provide happiness. Imagine coming into Dubai for the very first time, and you get this happiness card knowing that everything you purchase or pay for, well, it's not everything, but there's all these benefits that come with it, you know? Going shopping, there's discounts. You want food, there's offers. That's the greatest thing ever.
And this is the thing about Dubai, is because usually like one mall, all malls are, a lot of malls are connected. So like Emaar malls and Majid Al Futtaim malls. So like if they're connected with one massive company, then you're going to get the discounts across the board, like in restaurants and things. So it's an ALSAADA tourist card. Basically, if you want to get it, go to counters at DXB, and then you'll get a barcode that you can scan and so on and so forth. And then you'll get the list of the promotions and discounts, because it kind of changes, and you'll get all of the information there. The card expires once you leave the city, but you can get a new card when you come back to Dubai.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard. I think all countries should implement this. It's the greatest thing ever. Like,
we do love discounts.
Imagine coming here during Expo, you get the Expo passport, but then you also get this card. It's just like lovely memorabilia of Dubai.
Do you have like a go-to discount? Do you have like an offer? Maybe you don't want to share it because we're on a public platform. You don't want it to be overused, but like, is there any place that you wouldn't shop unless you had the 10% code? You know what I mean?
Oh, good question. ASOS? Unas?
No.
The good thing about Unas is that I know a bunch of people that work there, so there's different offers that they give me.
You have a discount card for...
And it's I don't know if I can say this, but it's the employee discount. So if I'm getting anyone in trouble, I never said that. I completely made that up. But it's great. You get like 25%
I need it too.
off.
It's 2-hour delivery and it's expensive stuff.
So good. But 2-hour delivery, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Every time they pack it up as though it's like a whole new gift. It's like, do you need it packed?
But I feel bad because there's also the eco-friendly box. But the other box is so nice. Like, why would you say no? And you get this beautiful, like, greeting card and a thank you letter.
You do get a thank you letter for shopping with them. You have to get the eco-friendly unless it's like you're treating yourself for your birthday.
Or someone else.
Unless it's like a big purchase.
Do you have a go-to discount site or store or location?
I love the Facebook groups. So, oh yeah.
And they share?
Yeah, this is the whole thing. Dirham Stretcher, love you, shop well for less, love you too. They're amazing. Like people are, it's not just like a Facebook group with admin they're working full time on this. I think Dirham Stretchers have made a website and they are constantly sharing great discounts. They talk about Viva Store all the time, which is a great grocery where you can get really well-priced supermarket, because the supermarket shopping here can be so expensive. But Viva Store is amazing. But it's just codes and just letting people know deals all the time because they're always changing.
Well, A, can you add me to the group? And B, you're so strategic with like, in general, Casey's the most strategic person with everything she does. Like she's thinking 4 steps ahead.
Do you think?
Are you adding me right now? Thank you.
I need to, during the show, I need to make notes or else it will be all forgotten.
But like you're going for necessities. I'm going for needs. See, that's the difference between us. Like I'm extremely irresponsible.
But this is the age. I'm a whole other generation on Forge.
She's like 5
Which he reminds me every day.
You're like 5 days older than me in my eyes.
He always says nice things in the morning.
Speaking of nice things, Dubai brokers are planning on selling the first ever mansion on the metaverse. Confusing? Shocked? Surprised? Not really, because it's Dubai after all. So this means that buyers can own the NFT without actually having a physical property, right? So the first luxury property will officially go on sale as of July, and this is by the Union Square House brokerage, with an emphasis on micro markets such as the Palm Jumeirah, Emirates Hills, District 1s, and Dubai Hills Estate.
So fancy places.
Fancy places.
So emphasis on the fancy places. So during the announcement, Gaurav Adesani, who is the founder and managing director of USH, stated in futuristic cities like Dubai, which thrive on a predominantly young generation, people understand the value and potential of digital assets. And although the project will start in Dubai, Ush plans to extend to other major cities like Abu Dhabi.
And this is not the first house that has gone up on the metaverse. A year ago, designer Krista Kim was the first person to create an NFT house titled Mars House, and it very much looks out of this world. The pictures are right next to us, and it's the most beautiful thing ever.
You know what really makes me sad about this whole thing? When he had made that announcement, he was like, the younger generation understand the potential of these digital assets. And I'm like, oh, I want to understand, I do.
Me too, I don't, but that's what I was thinking. So imagine being of the younger generation and going up to your parents without having a physical property yet and saying, Mom, Dad, I bought a house. And they're like, amazing, where?
Wow, well done, amazing, you're so young, how did you do that?
Can we go see it? Yeah, sure, it's right here actually. What are your thoughts?
Are we so advanced in the metaverse, by the way, that people can physically step in? Because I mentioned on the show, I was at a very nice Sahur at a mansion in Emirates Hills on Sunday night. Rizwan Sajan, who's the CEO of Danube. Now, can I put on an Oculus and go into a metaverse mansion in Dubai?
Yes.
So it's a whole other level of like spend, basically.
Like, yeah, imagine
I can't afford a house in the real world.
I know, that's the sad part. But my question is, so you're throwing like a soiree or a house party or a gathering, what will you offer people? You know, and are the conversations as genuine, as relatable? What if there's like lack of internet connection? What if you're saying something and someone's trying to cut you like it happens on Zoom? There's so many questions unanswered.
See, the thing is, we're so early into this whole metaverse thing, and everyone's like jumping onto a bandwagon, and it's like, is it a faff? Is it actually going to go ahead? But in like 50, 60, 70 years, I'm just really concerned about like the human race as people. And it's like, I'm just going to sit in my armchair at home, eat myself silly, and then, you know, attend a party for 5 minutes with, you know, someone in Taiwan, like really far from places, and be like, oh, I've connected today, but have you really connected? And then when you come out and you're like, oh, it's actually not as shiny out here. It's actually a little bit like, I don't have, can you change your body in the metaverse, by the way?
Can you look like yourself? That's the thing.
I think you can look like, we've seen the Mark Zuckerberg avatar.
Well, yeah, that looks like him, but what if your features are not available? Because they're not on like, I don't have my hair on Apple's Memoji.
It's not there.
You know, it's not there.
It's such an amazing hairstyle that people should want to
Apple
replicate.
Apple, if you're listening,
Your face is a meme.
I feel abandoned.
An emoji.
But that's the thing, like, you look like your ideal self, you know? You're gonna want to look like your ideal self in the metaverse, I guess.
And then if you have like 5 years of walking around this metaverse and you're looking like someone else, why do you want to go back to reality? Like, oh, it's so scary. But at the same time, like even like social media,
that's the thing.
So many issues with. So the whole metaverse is a whole other. However, if someone would like to sponsor a house for us to, you know, review and to have, I'll take that, because I need some type of property in my portfolio. It's time. It's time.
3D staycation seems realistic in this metaverse. For a review, we need time to understand it, scan the property. You know?
Yes, we need staycation. But then does that mean, how would a staycation work? How do you go to the loo?
See, so many questions left unanswered.
I think, you know what, we had this conversation before the show, and Ali jumped in and he was like, look, it's more like a status symbol. So like how you have right now a number plate in Dubai, you can actually potentially invite people. So like everyone's running around the metaverse just doing business meetings and just doing like the basic stuff. But you're like, why don't you come to this business meeting in my house? So it's like you dip in for an hour and everyone's really impressed with your, you know, surroundings because you're with this big company. It won't be for the regular folk. Maybe, you know, fancier businesses will invest because they're going to dip their toe and they want to learn more about it. But I don't think the likes of you and me, I have no idea, but I don't think the likes
We're just the regular degulators. But imagine being wealthy, having one amazing mansion.
Wealthy, just stop there.
But if you have one property, like a physical property, a beautiful house, beautiful cars, you're going to have to like have double the amount on the metaverse because you don't like just a regular old house.
You can't have a regular house.
You can't.
And then do you have people, you know, staffing your house in the metaverse? So could you potentially have a job?
Honestly.
It ends here. It ends here. We're done. Okay, guys, stay tuned. We're going to join by boss lady and top hairstylist Dina Alawali. She's going to be with us right after this. Do stay tuned. Right, guys, welcome back to the show. We are joined by one of the top hairstylists in the Middle East. Dina Alawali has been making a mark for herself from working in Paris Fashion Week to styling A-listers, including the likes of Kendall Jenner, Gigi Hadid, and Huda Kattan. Welcome to the show, the most fabulous gal.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Of course. Pleasure's all ours. So thank you so much for coming. So over the last decade and a half, right, you've had a crazy journey. You've done so much, but can you talk to us about the start and when you realized that you want to make this a career full time?
Yeah, of course. Actually, I went into school for marketing originally, and hairstyling was the last thing on my mind. About 2-3 years into it, I realized I wanted to do something a lot more hands-on, and I was inspired by my hairdresser at the time. So I got into the salon world and eventually just kind of started expanding into all different areas of the hair industry.
And was this here in Dubai?
No, in Canada. So once I decided to make the shift, I knew I wanted to go somewhere a lot bigger than where I was. I'm from a very small town in Canada. So I moved to Dubai. I thought it was a good opportunity to kind of dive into a big city, grow my knowledge in my career, and also get a little bit more information on my Middle Eastern roots. Yeah.
But also studying marketing plays a role in it for sure, because then you know how to like brand yourself, how to market yourself, how to like think of it from the business aspect.
I think honestly, as creatives, we all need to know how to do a little bit of marketing. Anyone that has their own business or has a clientele needs to constantly learn and keep up with marketing. So yeah, I'm definitely thankful my parents made me go through that.
So when you, I got made to go through college and now, thank you, Mom. I'm glad I did it. So when you moved to Dubai, how far along in your career were you? Like, how tricky is it? Because it sounds like you just chose Dubai for a number of reasons, but also starting very fresh here. How far into your career were you? What was it like kind of building up at a dress book here?
I was actually only about a year into my sole career. So in Canada, you do have to go to school for a year and then you assist someone for another year. So it was a year into my sole independent career, and I just felt like all of my friends were still in college. They were in like college student mode, and it hit me that this is my full-time career and that I've got one chance to really grow and put my all into it. And so I was 21 and I said, I'm just going to move somewhere where I'm away from everyone and can focus on me. And it was extremely difficult. I think Dubai is one of the hardest places you can be to grow a clientele. But if you do it right, you can grow 10 times faster than anywhere else in the world.
What was so challenging? What was extremely difficult? Like, what was the hardest thing?
I think a lot of people here come from different backgrounds culturally, and they come at a time where they've lived their whole life knowing one specific culture. And so I had to adapt and kind of learn to everyone's wants and needs. Hair in every different region is different. Texture and what they want and what they expect and the way they communicate is so different. So I think that was the hardest thing for me. But looking back on it, I'm just so grateful. It's extremely diverse, and I think it does give you all the knowledge you need. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who would you say is your inspiration? Like when you said, I want to do this full time, there's not that many people in the industry, right, that are as noticeable or recognized besides Jen Atkin. She's, I guess, at the top of the game in the US, but who did you look up to?
She actually is who I looked up to. So when I was first starting into editorial, many of the most well-known and iconic hairdressers were male. So she was an example of a female in the industry who took hairdressing, I think, to another level. She took it a lot more from behind the chair and as a client relationship, and she showed how you can turn it into a business. And she developed, she's marketed herself to great lengths. And social media, I think she's used as an amazing tool. I do think she started kind of the movement for hairdressers on social media. And I just love everything she stands for. And she was a huge inspiration into the way I thought of hairdressing and the way I looked of it as a business and how a lot of people can actually work together instead of against each other.
But you're literally following her footsteps, like creating, you're a powerhouse in terms of you made your own salon, which is amazing.
Thank you.
And what are your thoughts on hairdressing in Dubai as a whole? Because obviously you had all of your training outside of Dubai and you've come here and you've probably worked in different salons and now you're working in your own place. What is the standard and what do you expect from people working with you?
So when I first moved here, I noticed that actually 7 years ago, you did not need to have a license to work in a salon in Dubai, which is unheard of anywhere else in the world. So it's nice to see that as of the last few years, salons have kind of put an end to that and have actually been making it a requirement. So that's something that was very different. I also feel like salons are a very fast-paced environment here. So a lot of my clients that come in, they'll feel like they're not listened to or they're rushed, and they want to have stylists that are constantly getting the education. So when I did open my salon, I expect the team to be very motivated, very driven to kind of go out there and create their network and build a clientele. But I expect them to have a hunger and a drive to constantly be educated. I think that the best hairdressers are the ones that are constantly learning. And not just hairdressers, I think in every industry, you never know everything.
Would you think, like, how far can you go with hair? You know, who would you say is like your muse that has trailblazed in like the hair game and has, because like we know Marilyn Monroe's like iconic do, Nicki Minaj with her wigs,
Here, Casey, it's fine. You can say us if you want to.
You know what? I don't think I have like a specific person that I look at for hair, but I do think I look at different eras. And I think that the 60s and the 90s have had some really iconic looks. And I think with hair, what's really interesting is we always think that we're the first to create something. Yeah. And when you look back at it, you're not. I think someone that really inspires me in terms of hairstyling as a hairdresser would be Guido. And I've actually worked on shows with him, and he makes you look at hair and you're like, wow, like I can actually do this with someone's hair. And you understand that once you know how to like get a shape that matches someone's facial features, it's easy to play around with color, with cuts, with textures. And so I think that's something that I draw inspiration from.
Interesting. As well as working in your own place, and before you started your own, you obviously worked in Dubai, but then you went to fashion weeks all over the world.
Yeah.
Tell us what that lifestyle is like in terms of a day in the life of working with supermodels and, you know, having to achieve perfection in, you know, a short amount of time. What's that like?
It's a lot of pressure.
I'm sure.
I think it's really cool though. I tell the girls that work in my salon, like, you know, you should all experience it once in your life because it really, really pushes your boundaries in hairdressing. You've got to create a hairstyle that you would usually do in 1 hour in like 10, 15 minutes. And then I worked under Guido, who is, I mean, he's just the top of the top.
I'm so sorry. Who is Guido?
Oh my God. Okay, go look up Guido. He's honestly the most legendary hairdresser in the fashion industry. He's been doing it for over 30 years. And I think to be able to have a clientele for that long, it really goes to show how amazing you are at what you do. But if you're a hairdresser, like everyone wants to work under Guido. So that was a lot of pressure in itself. And then walking in and like getting the look, you go the night before, you usually practice the look on each other or on models. You have to take pictures of every angle, make sure everything is exactly the same so that when they walk down the runway, they all look the same. And then on top of that, you walk in the day and you have all these like models coming in, a lot of them which you've seen on TV or on books before. And, you know, once you meet someone like that's famous or that you've seen online, I actually thought I would like be a little more nervous. But the day of, there's so much pressure, they're just another head of hair. So you're just, it's your job, they're the client, you're there to get it done.
And with supermodels, there's specific stigma when working with them.
Such a polite way to put it. Stigma.
So what was your experience like?
I loved it, honestly. I think that they go through a lot more than people give them credit for, and they work really hard. And I think before I got into the industry, I used to think that these girls take pictures and they live a very amazing life and then they post it online and they get paid. And I think just being thrown into the like behind the scenes of it, you see how much hard work it is and how much dedication they've got to their career. And they've obviously done something right to get there. And they're just the sweetest backstage as well. So, I mean, it was, I think, life-changing for me to see it from their perspective. And that's why I push the girls to do everything in the industry.
Just thinking of, you're saying you practice the looks and then you have 15 minutes to achieve this perfect look.
Yeah.
Is it, I'm trying to compare it to something to make reference that I'd understand. Is it like you're working at a restaurant and, you know, you pass the dish forward and then the head chef is like either perfect or there's a Gordon Ramsay who's like, there's salt in it, you know?
So like,
is that what it's like?
There's so much pressure because you do the look the night before, and then if you've mastered it, then the day of you'll do the complete look. If not, then we'll get divided into teams. So you do have, usually every city you'll have a team of assistants that joins, and nothing can get done without them, honestly, because they'll do the prep, they'll do everything so fast, and then the model will move on to get the look completed. So they should be in and out of, if you work with Guido, in and out of your chair in like 10, 15 minutes.
I'd like to work with Guido.
You need to see
Guido. You need to learn about Guido.
Honestly, yeah. If you're, anyone that's watching this that's a hairdresser will be like, how do you not know who Guido is?
feel so underprepared.
What was your favorite hairstyle that you've done, and who was it on? And what does Kendall Jenner smell like?
I don't think I remember what she smells like, but they're all very nice. I think my favorite hairstyle from like a fashion show would probably be the Fendi show that just happened in Rome. It was really cool the way that it was structured and how it was put together. And you just, like, anytime you create a very like graphic shape that just defies like the laws of gravity, it's really cool to see how it's come together.
So it takes a lot, obviously, for especially when you have like when you're defying the laws of gravity, essentially. What do people not acknowledge goes into hairstyling and hairdressing? Because you already mentioned a ton of stuff, but if someone wants to get into it, what should they be prepared for?
It's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of constant learning, I would say. There's so many different products and you need to know how they react to the hair, why they work the way they do, why each look will need different products and different techniques. And I think actually working backstage, that's something that taught me, because when you do hair for a client or a photo shoot, it only needs to last for that hour, 2 hours that they're there. But then when you work with, for example, a show or a celebrity, it's something that needs to last for the full day. And most times they'll be on the runway ready from 7 a.m. They don't walk until that night. So It's just learning how to use things. And I think having an open mind, I feel a lot of hairdressers after a few years think that they're at the top, they've learned everything, there's nothing that you can teach them. So I think just lose the ego and be open to learn.
How scary is it to jump into your own business? So Dina has just opened the collective, which is fabulous. I've been there, it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
But what is it like to jump into your own business from, I guess, working different salons, freelancing and having that kind of successful career? Is it a scary move?
I think it's terrifying. I think with collective, to be honest, I was already freelancing at my previous salon in terms of kind of only working with my clientele, and I would come and go because I had such a busy career outside of the salon. But I think with collective, what really made me very scared in the beginning is the girls that joined. They joined because they believed so much in what I did and what I could offer to them in their careers. So I felt that pressure of making sure that they enjoyed every minute of it. They got every opportunity that I had, and it was a lot of pressure. It still is, but I think it's nice to have pressure because then you know that you care about what you're doing. Yeah.
Well, so basically you have a salon and you have the website too, right? What can we see that's different from different just websites and different salons?
So collective is acting. What I noticed in Dubai was a lot of salons were actually acting as solely a salon, and then the hairdressers had to work the way that the salon wanted them to, and then they had to kind of be there 9 to 5. They could only do salon clients, and they had to follow kind of whatever trend was going at the time. And so collective is a place where I wanted a bunch of hairdressers from around the world to come together and be their own person and do what they found empowered them as a hairdresser. So we've got specialists that specialize in color, some that specialize in cuts, and then editorial as well. So the salon is acting also as an agency to really push the girls to get backstage and to do photo shoots and have private clients. And I think the difference is that we want to connect the consumer to really understand what a hairdresser is. And then we also want to make the whole community in Dubai feel like we can actually collaborate and be a team instead of competing with each other. So the website is open to give free education for both the consumer and the hairdresser. And we're hosting different classes for master classes that are for the hairdresser that wants to grow into editorial or into private clients. At the same time, we're giving all the tutorials and tips and tricks on how you can get the same exact look for a client.
Can I just say, by the way, guys, I've been in Dubai for 8 years and I've been to many hair salons and many different stylists, and it's, it's not a cheap thing to go around and to try it, and you come out and sometimes when you're upset and unhappy, but I've only in the last couple of years been with you and I've only ever been happy, and that's such an amazing feeling to come out of a hair salon and being like, oh my God, actually like my hair.
Thank you. That
It's
means
so
a lot.
rare. So thank you so much for making me feel happy in my hair. And I would suggest you to go. Is it male? No, do you do it?
So
No,
advice.
we can send you to one of the girls that do a few men.
I just want. It's an obscure haircut that I have at the moment. Help, basically.
I think it's fashionable. I actually think it's trendy. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well.
He's like, I'll keep it.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, I was right. So also, there's at the moment on social media, you see hairdressers, makeup artists, stylists get the credit that they deserve. They're being tagged in all these posts.
Yeah.
But in general, do you think that they're finally receiving the recognition they deserve?
I think we're getting there. I think compared to other parts of the world, we could be, a lot more advanced. I do make it a point, actually, when I do anything with any other creative person, I tag them, from the production team to the photographers to the assistants. I think that there's so much that goes into creating something that people don't see, and you should give credit where credit is due. I do get it often where people will ask for can I do this for a tag? And Jenna can actually made a bunch of shirts that said a tag is not going to pay my bills. And it's so true. And
What do you mean? Can I do what for a tag?
Can you, if I get my hair done by you, can we do it as a collaboration? I'll tag you instead of getting paid. And, it's nice to do things like that when it's the start of your career and it's beneficial. And I think after a while, it gets to a point where it's this is a really sought after career. You've educated yourself for years, and it's like Jen said, it's not going to pay your bills. This is your career at the end of the day. So I think it's nice that people will tag you even if you've been paid for a job, because it's just kind of giving credit where credit is due. And to be completely honest, as creatives, we're all found online or through back a while ago when we had, I still get magazines, but I know my little cousins and stuff don't. But when you'd open, you'd see all the credits. Mm-hmm. And Instagram is essentially a magazine that's put online. So I just think give credit where credit is due.
Good, strong advice, guys. That is all we have time for. But Dina, thank you so much. Hairstylist to the stars. We really appreciate your time. If people want to get in touch with you or they want to learn more about the collective, how can they do so?
They can reach out to me on Instagram at Dina Alwade or at collective_hair. And I would love to see some of them in the salon. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, that is all we have time for today. Thank you so much. We're back with you every single weekday morning. Same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
And me.
And me.
Bye.